So I started to sweat in fear. I wondered how I'm going to get back up the hill. I am really starting to worry in a major way. No one is home to help me. I am on my own. I have forgotten that I'm still connected to nature. Suddenly, my eyes see another possible path up the hill that I had not considered. It is worth a chance. The risks seem limited this way. I see that I'll be able to use some handholds to help stabilize and put less pressure on my footholds, so I will slip less, I hope. With an independent streak I start off. I have always been good at finding safe walking and climbing paths where I have been out in nature. With that confidence, I make it to the first tree and around it. I am starting to calm down a bit. I look for the next stage up the hill. I see it looks like I've got another tree I can reach. So I head out again and soon reach the second tree. With a sigh of relief, I'm almost sure I will make it. I start to sweat less. I finish up and go in. Once inside, I suddenly realize what I think happened today with today's lesson. However, I'm sure I will need to relearn this lesson again and again. I think that today, nature guided my way back up the hill by showing my eyes a path I was attracted to, more in the sense of feeling than actual fact. I had no way of knowing this alternative path would be any less muddy or slippery. I was truly acting on my sight attraction. I realize now many of my experiences in nature regarding climbing and boulder jumping that I have always been guided to see the appropriate next steps with my capabilities, guided by my deeper natural and unconscious connection with nature. How else, I wonder, is it that I can so confidently see the next step to take that will support me safely towards my goal? Bringing this connection into my consciousness and trusting symbolic sensory information over my language labeling disconnected stories like fear of not making it up the hill is still hard for me. I can still get caught up in the fear and not even attempt a path. I could have wallowed in anticipation of fear for quite some time, as that is my history. I am sure nature felt my gratitude and sense of accomplishment, but I did not say thank you. I was amazed that I forgot. Evidently I'm still learning, and I am sure that nature knows that I'm learning. After all, that's what gave me this lesson today in trust. In retrospect, I can see clearly that standing at the edge of the hill and having this experience was the very first conscious bridge to my own personal philosophy of applied eco-psychology in my daily life. I called it, and still call it, standing at the edge and see. In my memory, since about the 9th grade, I have been a person who made decisions based on facts I could find. I was looking for a better way because I was in trouble. You see, my fact-based decisions worked fairly well when there was only me involved. But there were areas of my life, like work, and later my relationship with my wife and my daughter, where I see now that trying to enforce my view and way of working in the world onto others did not work, and I could not understand why it would fail. I truly was not satisfied with my job at work and it was exhausting and trying to get all the facts to make everything work perfectly all the time. The type of life I was living I would now describe as living in my head, not my heart. To me, my emotions and feelings were things that only got in the way of clear thinking and action. I had developed a coping mechanism for life, which involved suppressing all my feelings and emotions. I am sure that a scientist using scientific principles could dismiss my ideas and arguments. This is not to convince other people that I am right or that you are wrong, but I see as a parent and a sensitive, concerned human being about others that I am on the right path now. I am convinced that this is a better path than I was on previously, by the fact that my ability to get along with my daughter has improved, and our relationship is better, not perfect, but better. I hope that by putting my story out, I would encourage others who are thinking similarly and provoking thoughtful reflection in those who have not yet considered these ideas. As a parent, there really is no choice for me but to learn to lead from the heart. It makes no sense to me to lead from punishment, from where the first punishment, if it does not provide conforming behavior, then the conversation becomes, how hard should I hit? How much punishment should I apply in order to deter my child's behavior? I do not wish to be in a place where my child does what I ask her to do because she's afraid of me or the consequences. I would much prefer that she acts and behaves out of compassion and respect for me. To me, using punishment and fear is like asking, how many fingers should I cut off for theft? And once all the fingers are gone, if the theft continues, then what should I do? Continue the dismemberment? As a parent, there is really no choice. I cannot choose the path to dismember my child, so it is best not to start down that path. I want to journey a different path. This process will not always provide success, but still sometimes can at least use the path of least destructive punishment I can find, like taking away a portion of allowance or delaying a bedtime story or TV show until something is picked up, not everything, but even just 5 things. To me, the physical action and hurt from punishment is no different than the mental and emotional scarring that comes from yelling and coercion. The best language analogy I've come to explain this, I came across in the Web of Life Imperative class book, which used the example of a circle having a slice cut off. Neither the circle nor the slice are whole. Neither one can roll smoothly. In my own experience, the person giving the violence, like yelling, is like the circle getting a slice cut off, and for a while, both the yeller and the yellee are not whole, just like the circle and the slice are not whole. It takes a while for the healing to recommence. I do not say that eco-psychology will solve all health problems or all of your problems. I know that, in fact, many people will have concerns about applied eco-psychology, but they do not bother me, because this is what has worked for me. It is real for me. I cannot change someone else's disbelief. I can only describe to others what works for me and ask that they consider trying it and seeing if it becomes sensible for them. It turns out I'm not the only person doing this. It may be that stand at the edge and see is more common than I thought. In Derek Jensen's book, Listen to the Land, Max, in his essay on page 222, uses these words: go outside, escape the logos, encounter the other, and let the other begin to influence you. When you open yourself to the wilderness, you find yourself on a path with heart which you don't create, but you realize that this path is a path with heart. People, particularly students, always want to know what it is that I am doing and how it is that I know what to do. I always tell them that I have enough courage and faith to know to walk the next step. All I have to do is continue taking each step until I reach the end of the path. When I get to the end of the path, even though I can't see it, then I will know where to go next. Following natural attractions is a bit like climbing in the mountains. You can see where to go, only the next step. As you get higher, you can see further. The mountain continually reveals itself. It unfolds. A path with heart is like that. It only opens up to you when you're not fraudulent, when you have faith and go with the flow. A path with heart is a path with freedom. However, I am sure that any career counselor who found their way to this message would say this is one crazy dude. That is a sure path to economic ruination and a life where you end up helpless, hopeless, and homeless. Still, I encourage others to try eco-psychology.